I'm Stephen, USSR Robinson, and you're watching Sport Icons. Papa!
Okay, so a lot of people have been waiting for a full statement from Deontay Wilder, as in what's his reaction to his knockout loss to Tyson Fury following their trilogy this past weekend. Will he thank Tyson Fury? Will he come out with more excuses? What's his thoughts on the fight? All that kind of thing. So we'll get straight into Deontay Wilder's statement, and this is what he had to say. Wow, what a hell of a night. I would like to first and foremost thank God for allowing me to give the world another part of me that's driven with passion and determination. I would like to thank my team and my fans for sticking by my side through this long process. I would be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed in the outcome, but after reflecting on my journey, I now see what God wanted me to experience is far greater than what I expected to happen. We didn't get the win, but a wise man once said, the victories are within the lessons. I've learned that sometimes you have to lose to win. Although I wanted to win, I enjoyed seeing the fans win even more. Hopefully I proved I'm a true warrior and a true king in this sport. Hopefully we proved that no matter how hard you get hit with trials and tribulations, you can always pick yourself up to live and fight again for what you believe in. Last but not least, I would like to congratulate Tyson Fury for his victory and thank you for great historical memories that will last forever. Deontay Wilder's statement. Now, pretty humble, no excuses, and that's fantastic. And I think that's all that people really wanted from Deontay Wilder, because following his display of just showing pure heart, because obviously he was tired from about round 5, round 6 onwards, and he was just pretty much fighting on just pure steam. His petrol tank had emptied, but he showed a true warrior's heart. He took a hellacious beating, let's be honest. Got knocked down again in round number 10, then of course ultimately stopped in round number 11. But a lot of people were expecting, especially in the immediate aftermath, where of course we've seen the recent footage of Tyson Fury going over to Deontay Wilder saying, no love, I don't respect you, all that kind of stuff. So people were interested, is he going to come out with something else? Okay, now of course we've seen bits and bobs from some of his fan base who have been already trying to come out with excuses, like the referee took too long to count and whatever else. Okay, so just going on Deontay Wilder's statement, I think a lot of these people are just in damage control. Okay, at the minute, Wilder isn't saying any of that. But again, if anybody is saying about a long count, let's not forget at the beginning of round number 9, Wilder had about, 15, 20 seconds with the doctor. So, you know what, he was bought a little bit more time himself. So again, we're just being transparent and fair. But he is right, though, because sometimes you do have to lose to find your own self-worth. If you're just going in there and knocking out people, you do live in a delusional world. And of course, he's a very religious man by the looks of it. And maybe God wanted him to take this defeat to make him a better person, to make him a better fighter. Hopefully he continues. As much as a lot of people will rate him, a lot of people won't rate him. And the difference is quite varied, I think, in people's opinions of Deontay Wilder. But I think most of us can agree he is good for the sport. And of course, there are a lot of fights out there we'd like to see him in. I'd like to see him still fight Anthony Joshua, whether Anthony Joshua wins in the rematch with Alexander Usyk or he doesn't. I'd still like to see that fight at some point. I'd still like to see Deontay Wilder take on Dillian White or Andy Ruiz Jr. or a Joe Joyce or a Tony Yoka or Filip Herkovich, depending on the landscape, of course. So hopefully he continues. Will he continue? I'm sure that's what we'll find out in time. We really will. But either way, I think that Deontay Wilder put out a very humble statement. And yes, it was a very good fight. Was it a fight that we were asking for and particularly looking forward to? No, not really. But for those of us who watched it, we're glad that we watched it. I certainly am. Okay, this wasn't the fight that I wanted, not at all. But I'm glad that we got it, and I'm glad that I got to watch it. It was a very, very good fight, that's for sure. But lastly, with him congratulating Tyson Fury, that's all that we really wanted him to do, was just be the better man, okay? Stop it with all the excuses. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would like to had he have come out with another statement and said something along the lines of, you know what, the last 18 months, it's all just been mind games, and maybe I had my mind twisted, I was acting on emotion, some of my fan base, the YouTube uploaders, are complete plums, and I just kind of like sided with them, okay, because they're my fans. Just do something. But he hasn't done that bit yet. Hopefully at some point he will address that. But either way, for him to congratulate Tyson Fury, that's all anybody really wanted. And yes, for sure, he should look on this as something historic for him. He should. I mean, okay, he was given 3 chances against Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury won all of them. I think most people can agree with that. Some people may say the draw with the first fight was fair enough, but the excuse in the rematch, no need for it. Okay, Tyson Fury proved that he's better than Deontay Wilder. Does that mean that Deontay Wilder is no good? No, of course it doesn't. But ultimately, I think that what most people were looking for was for him to just congratulate Tyson Fury. It would have been nice had he have shook his hand, but again, we understand it's emotions. It's immediately after the fight. Maybe he was still concussed, who knows? But of course, now he's had a few days to reflect on it. Of course, he should look back on it and look at people's comments and say, you know what? He did well. He did well in defeat. And it happens a lot of times. Sometimes you need a defeat for your stock to rise. And ultimately, that's what's happened with Deontay Wilder. So hopefully he takes heed from this. Hopefully him and Mallet Scott will continue to work together, and we get to see them two in a few more fights together. But of course, he is coming up, what, is he 36 years old or something like that? So anyway, that is Deontay Wilder's statement. You'll drop your thoughts below on it. Of course, click a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next video.